well, but you just a slut.
Alright guys, so I got 3 announcements to make, with the first being that it's my birthday, yay. Second announcement, I bought a new mic, as you can see, with the sound of my beautiful voice. And for the third announcement, King Carson just dropped, yay. Oh, see, I'm not going to celebrate that one. Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, one of the Opium Goons, or I guess Opium Goomba, has came through and dropped his sophomore Project X. So going off that Teen X persona as a Cardi subordinate would, and bringing the same level of young and wild energy onto this project that he likes to project. But I guess the question is that if it even makes for a good project, which is something I can definitely say is debatable. Alright, so a few days ago I made a poll on my Instagram, which you should follow by the way, and I asked you guys about which album I should review for today. And the majority of you said King Carson's X, and I'm just gonna be honest here, you should have never voted because you are not gonna like this review. And it's not the fact that I hate the album or Ken himself, it's just that this album is just so dull. I mean, it can be fun to some with its high energy and catchy choruses and repetitive verses, but when listening to this project as a whole to give a proper review of it, I'm just getting a mix of Cardi and Yeet with some low-grade lyricism, even for a project that I suppose wasn't really meant to have it as the main focal point. It's just Ken rapping about his possessions, his girls, his money, and his bravado on even more simple flows like Yeet, while having the same charisma of Pierre Bourne on his songs when he raps. But I said it before, since that isn't the main focal point, we can just take a look at how everything comes together, and it's pretty alright. I mean, it's nothing too crazy to really show who Ken Carson is other than just another Rage rapper or a Cardi clone, but at the same time, some of these tracks are guaranteed head boppers such as MDMA and Freestyle 1. I kinda wish it just felt a bit more original, for a lack of better words, just seeming like another rehash on a steady popular trend and not really separating itself from the rest. But as for the production, it was solid, nothing too crazy. We got some rage traps, some filthy production, and some executive production from Cardi himself, just for it to all be a mix of heavy bass and distortion that can drown out the vocals from time to time, but at the same time it does make for good mosh music and brings out a lot of fun, high energy, which is good for any concert or very large speakers. I suppose my main criticism would be that it can get repetitive from the instrumentals to the vocals, seeming like I'm running through the same song just arranged a bit differently, which can make listening to this project a bit boring. But when looking at the rage trap scene in general right now, I'm not surprised that I even feel this way because of how singular the entire scene can really feel at the end of the day. I mean, when Cardi first dropped Whole Lotta Red, it sparked a whole new wave of rappers that would in some form or fashion take a piece of that style, cadence, flow, and energy and turn it into their own, or just completely bite with absolutely no shame. And with this new wave of influence coming in, it's completely wiped away what can be original and what isn't, which in Ken Carson's case he has potential, but he just needs to find a way to really step into his own light for this to really work out. But as for the features, they were nice to listen to, mainly the other Cardi subordinate Destroy Lonely on the track MDMA and Murder Music, with him being a nice addition and really showing the chemistry that the Opium artists have in the studio. But overall, this project was okay, or at least from a more critical standpoint it was okay, but if you're into this kind of stuff it might be right up your alley. I don't fucking know, but what I do know is that this project doesn't really bring any wow factor that wasn't brought already. So to put this on a scale, I'm giving us a high 2 out of 10, being nothing to really bring to the table, but at least there is a glimpse of potential with Ken's next project. How do you guys feel about Ken Carson's latest project? What would you rate it? Let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe, and make sure to follow my IG and Twitter, and if you like the illustrations used in this video, make sure to follow yours as well because she's dope. And on that note, I'll see you on Monday when I show you all what I got for my birthday. Peace.